Hi everyone. As many of you will know, as part of our church family, we have seen some incredible things over the last 18 months. Our church family has grown in such wonderful ways, and we are so grateful for every single one of you who has joined this church family in the last year or so. It's been incredible to see what God is doing amongst us, and we are so grateful that all of you have come and committed yourselves to being part of this church family. But as you will see on a Sunday morning when we gather, that has come with its challenges. We are struggling to fit everybody into the space that we have at the well. And so over the last few months, we have been looking at possible solutions to that challenge. Initially, we approached the landlord about making use of some of Evans Cycle's space that they currently aren't making use of. And this landlord looked at that seriously with us. They got surveyors in to look at the buildings and whether or not they aligned and could we access that space. But sadly, that just wasn't possible. It wasn't financially viable for us to do that. And we completely understand the landlord's decision on that issue. Having seen the work that they've done, we understand why we just can't access that space. And although we're disappointed about that, we totally understand. Wonderfully, as part of that process, Pete got the opportunity to go and see the landlord in London and to give him a presentation of the work that we've been doing in the building. He showed them the incredible things that we've been up to during the week, where we've been serving people through our food bank, our warm space, our holiday club, and all sorts of other things that the building has allowed us to do, as well as our Sunday gatherings and the growth that we've seen as a church. And without any prompting, the landlord's response to that presentation was to offer to reduce our rent significantly to make the building affordable to us, and also to repair the lift, which had been creating some issues for us, which was an incredible offer. In exchange, they asked that we extend the lease to 2031, meaning that we will remain here for another 7 years. And so Pete returned with that offer, and as a team we prayed about it and we sought God. Was this God's provision for us? And we very much felt like it was. The well is an incredible location. It has given us wonderful opportunities. Many of you have joined our church because we're located there and we've been so easy to find, and so we felt like this was the place we should stay. But that didn't resolve the issues we're facing on a Sunday morning. And so we thought maybe we remain at the well during the week, but on a Sunday morning we find an alternative space somewhere else in the area. And so I went on the look. I went searching for potential space somewhere else. And although there were a few that were suitable in terms of having a capacity for up to 200 people, which is what we really need now, as well as the additional rooms for children's work and youth, and an area to prepare refreshments, those spaces just simply weren't available on a Sunday. They weren't open, or they didn't have the staff to be able to open up for us on a Sunday morning. And so that search yielded no results. There were no other options. And so we felt like if this is where God wants us to remain at the well, maybe we just need to make better use of the space that we have. And so we looked at how can we increase the capacity of the building. We got a fire safety expert in to give us advice on how we might increase the capacity. Initially, he said if we wanted to increase the capacity of the first floor where we currently meet, we'd need to add an additional fire escape. And we approached the landlord about this. Were there any options? Could we access the fire escape that Evans Cycles use, but only in the case of emergencies? Unfortunately, again, that physically wasn't possible. None of the floors and walls lined up in the right places for us to do that. The other thing that the fire safety expert told us was that our capacity downstairs could actually be up to 200. This wasn't what we expected, but it was very, very good news. And so we thought maybe what we should do is we should move our meeting space to the ground floor and our children's work to the first floor. But the current ground floor space just simply isn't set up in a way that we can fit 200 seats in. And so what we have now done is we have approached an architect based just over the road from the well, and they have come in and measured the whole of the ground floor and have begun work on plans to adapt that space for our use So what we are doing is looking at removing some of the current walls and rooms that are there, relocating some of them, adding additional toilets on the ground floor, and also an area where we can prepare refreshments for a Sunday morning. We're also wanting the space to be suitable for us to use during the week. What we do here Monday to Friday is so crucial to who we are as a church family, and we don't want to lose that by creating a new worship space downstairs. And so we're trying to create something that can be adapted and changed around simply and easily to be used both on a Sunday and during the week to serve the people of the city. And so those plans are being drawn up now, and they will be ready in a couple of weeks. And at that point, we would love to share those plans with you. We'd love to get your feedback on them and your ideas, your thoughts on the things that we've put in place and any additional things that you feel might be required. We want our whole church family to be on this journey with us. And so while we've been doing work in the background to try and find solutions to present to you, we don't want to make any decision on that solution without your agreement. And so we'll bring those plans to you and we will get your feedback on them. We will refine them and then we'll come back with the final designs. At that point, we'll then need to go out and find out how much this work is going to cost. And wonderfully, because the landlord has reduced the rent, we're not going to have to ask you this year to give on a gift day towards the rent of the building. We can now cover that with our regular monthly income. And we're so grateful to all those that give to help us do that. And so this year we will probably look to have a gift day in the early summer towards the work of changing the building for our use. But it is so exciting that where up till now we've had to make do with what we were given. We've not been able to do any significant work on the well because we financially couldn't afford to do so. Now we're at a point where we're trusting that God will provide so that we can create a space that is made for us, that is a home for us during the week and on a Sunday, that meets our needs for gathering together as a family to worship, but also that we might love the lost and those that are in greatest need in this city, which is key to who we are as the people of God. And so please be praying for these plans. Please be praying for our preparations. Please be praying that we find good contractors who can do the work on the building. Please be praying that that the timing all works out so that we can do the work when it's least disruptive to us as a church family. And please be praying that God might provide the means for us to be able to do this work. Without him, we simply cannot achieve it. But we know, because he has been faithful in the past, that he will be faithful again, and he will help us to create the space that we need to be the family that he's called us to be. Thank you.